Good morning and welcome. It is Sunday, the 2nd of April. I am Flatcap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. All right, interesting Sunday, I would say. Not in a, oh, I've got loads, it's going to go bananas, but yeah, compared to recent Sundays, because the flats started back, it's made it a little bit more interesting. So I've got a full stake £20 day to finish our week. It's 4 bets. First race 135 Doncaster. So it's three lucky 15, slightly different stake, and a combination double bet as well. So that is coming up. Before we do that, I'll go through how we got on Saturday. And then there's a few interesting stats, done a few stat trawls. I was going to go through a few bits and bobs on that as well. So, Saturday, we had a good day Saturday. First time in ages. So the channel had it as 20 on, 57.69 back, which ridiculously is the best result we've had since the 3rd of February. It's been that dire. So no biggie. So we still stand at £52, our biggest win this year. And last year we had 22 days where we surpassed that. So we are still searching for something better. It was nice not to have a losing day and something to cheer about at least. So yeah, successful enough. It was profitable for everybody, but Sky and 365 are the ones that made the money yesterday. Everybody else would have made small profit, but Sky 365 nearly trebled money, not far off it. So what was it? We had this. So Clear Angel, Hugh Taylor absolutely stitched me up there and smashed the price for some. But yeah, 50 to 1 is what I put it up as. It was 66s in places with Paddy and Betfair the night before. That being said, you wouldn't have got the 6th place with them, so you had to get on with 365 and Sky for the 6th place. So that was 50 as that placed. Then Bear Force won 16 to 1, put it in both Lucky 15s, and I put it on in Lucky 15 in freebets.com. So I'm sure there was a few heads turned, but saved my blushes did Bear Force 1. So went and won nicely. Price didn't change. 16 to 1 winner at the SP. And then it was the Lincoln where I fell a bit short. So yeah, I think the jockey Benoit Delasay ran an absolute cracking race to win on that horse Migration. But yeah, I wasn't close enough with my others, certainly not in the Lucky 15, so nothing with Encourageable. And then Bellstown was abandoned. So it was a win and a place with a non-runner for 365 and Sky. Anybody else would just be in a win and a non-runner with that one. So that is bet 1. We then had bet 2. We had Maison come 3rd. Bear Force won 1. Safe Voyage was no good, and Loudest Whisper was abandoned. So that was a win and a place and a non-runner for everyone on bet 2. And then the combination doubles, it slightly depends on where you put them on. So Maison placed for everyone. Clear Angel only placed for 365 and Sky. And Arthur's Run wasn't worth very much, to be fair. It was like £1.50 or something like that. It was Arthur's Run placed for Sky. And then going on to the second leg, we only had Baradar place. Couldn't get anything else in there. So it was profitable for 365. Well, for 365 and Sky, it was a profitable bet. For everyone else, it was a losing bet with some money back. And that was that. So yeah, it was a small amount of bets a day. Get the right place for in a minute. So yeah, happy to take a profit on there. And yeah, the Spring Mile went well. Then Bear Force 1 went brilliantly well, and then the Lincoln not so good, but profit on the day. So that was good. Let's hope the start of the month can carry on. We take some positive vibe because we actually are going into Sunday £9 ahead for the week. Which hasn't happened for a while. So £9 ahead for the week, but we are still clearly plenty down for the year. So we need to keep going in the right direction. Stats wise, we wouldn't say to you, Fair Force 1. So I did a little bit of data trawling because I don't often put one horse in 2 Lucky 15s. I try to avoid that, and so it's rarity on a day like there was yesterday where I only had 7 horses that I put out in Lucky 15s and one of them was duplicated. So I thought it'd be interesting to go back and actually look in the history of the channel. How many other days have I ever done 2 lucky 15s and put one horse? There were 7 horses, put one horse in 2 bets, and what was the result? And yeah, it was quite interesting. So as far as I could find, Bear Force 1 was the 5th time I've ever done that on the channel. The 5th time I've had 2 lucky 15s, 7 horses, and put one horse in both bets. So Bear Force 1 won at 16 to 1. The last time I did that, which was not that long ago, did it at Dundalk. I had a horse called Hinamoa, and that won at 20 to 1. The time before that, in January, was one of our old favourites, Visibility, placed at 40 to 1. And then last year, I only did it 2 times. I found Union Park was a horse that placed 17 to 2. And then the other one, I think it was called Journey West. It ran a rubbish race. So from 5 instances I found of putting one horse in 2 lucky 15s. So that doesn't account, just to be clear. So the days where I might have had 6 selections and put in 2 lucky 15s. So on the specific occurrence of 7 horses and one's duplicated, we've come out with a 16 to 1 winner, a 20 to 1 winner, 40 to 1 place, 17 to 2 place, and a dot. So it's a pretty good return on that. It's up to you whether you interpret that as some sort of genius staking plan or I got lucky. It's up to you. So that's there. I found one instance where there was 3 lucky 15s, which would normally need 12 horses, and I only used 11. And I had a horse there. I forget the name of it now. I think it was Foreseeable Future actually. 14 to 1, and that won both ones. So yeah, I've discovered there is a pretty good strike rate of putting horses in multiple bets. So yeah, I'm now saying that knowing that then people are going to pay more attention and it will go terribly wrong the next time. But I just thought it was an interesting stat to share. All right, so what have we got for Sunday? And I'm very glad I'm doing a Sunday morning video, to be fair, because the amount of non-runners that have come out across the board, particularly Leopardstown, would have really hindered the bets. Not so much that I have had horses that are non-runners, but they've impacted place terms and betting markets. So starting here, so 135 Doncaster is an amateur jockey's race, which I'm not always massively keen on, but it does chuck up big prices. So Carrigaphilly, 14 to 1. 325 Downpatrick, Park Hine 12s. 4 o'clock Downpatrick, 5 after midnight 14s, which we've taken a few times and been a bit unfortunate, I would say. And then the 5:30, what I've done here, and I've just realised I've missed off the price there. Hang on, let me try and rectify that. This is the truth, by the way. It's not creative accountancy. So just about to say that 22 to 1. So the 5:30, I quite like that race, and there's been so many non-runners. It's now gone down to 7 runners. Sky is still 3 places. I'm not sure if anyone else has changed it to that. But I've got 2 in there, so I've split staked it on this 5:30 Leopardstown. So Gatsby Cap at 12 and Maggie and Me at 22s. So it's 2 times 10p each way, lucky 31. Lucky 15s. 2 times 10p each way, lucky 15s. So that is £6 you bet 1. Sky best, 888 are second best, and then 365 Paddy or Coral, any one of those. So that's bet 1, that's £6. Then bet 2 is the smaller stake, lucky 15. I've had to make a change on that one. So 135 Doncaster Majid 33s. 4 o'clock. Just a word on that Majid actually. I quite like the form. The 2 obvious things against that horse are it's £4 out of handicap, and it's got a jockey who I think is having their first ride under rules, I think, as far as I can see. So they're massive negatives, but if you actually look through the form, it's handicapped to run a reasonable race, and I think it'd be okay on the ground. So I think it's worth chancing despite those 2 obvious negatives. 4 o'clock Downpatrick, Forza Milan. That's the big price of the day. I think it's worth chancing. It's certainly not one I'm putting out going, this is a really strong 66 to 1 shot here. I think it's worth chancing on the basis that it absolutely is a thorough stayer. I think the ground is fine. It's just getting a bit slow as it gets older, but I wonder whether the length of the race might play to its strengths. So I think it's worth chancing, even though the last few runs it's not been at its best. Forza Milan 66s, 455 Leopardstown, Marvelosa 14s, and then the obvious race at Doncaster. So I've written it a bit funny there. 320 Doncaster, Swayze at 16 to 1. 14 pence each way lucky 15, so funny amount, and a 40p each way single on Forza Milan takes you to £5. Sky our best, then 365 or Coral our next best for that one. That's bet 2. Bet 3, this is my combination double. These are my preferred 2 races. I know the big handicap at Doncaster is a better race, but I just didn't like the read of it. So I know I've put Swayze in, I've got another one, but I didn't want to do it in the combination doubles today. 1:35 Doncaster, Carrigaphilly and Mujid going on to the 4 o'clock Downpatrick, 5 after midnight and Forza Milan. 4 times 25p each way doubles. There's a lot of bookies paying 4 on both of these. So 365 and Coral, you're going to get bog on the combination, so they're better. And then Sky or Betfair or Hills or 888 will be the same. So 365 and Coral to get bog on these. 4 times 25p each way doubles, £2 your bet. And then finishing off, 4 unrelated races. Doncaster Ascot. So 320 Doncaster, Bernardo O'Reilly. I know it's a very short price at 5s. But I think I'd be so surprised if that horse doesn't make the frame. So I'm sticking it in. 3:35 Ascot, fast buck at 7s, no extra places on that race. And then we've got 3:55 Doncaster, Jean Baptiste at 20s, and finally 5:20 Ascot, Clay Rogers at 14s. 20p each way lucky 15, and we've got an additional 50p each way double on Jean Baptiste and Clay Rogers. £7 your bet. Sky best because there are a couple of races there in extra place, and then everybody else is a much of a muchness. So Sky and then anyone else really. That is that. So that's £7 your bet 4. So £20 is our stake. We need to get £11 back at least to say it was a profitable week. If we don't do that, again it will be another negative week. And yeah, I appreciate all the support because it's really, really tough going, and there's a lot of Doubting Thomases out in there at the moment, and people coming on, giving it like this, that and the other and whatever, and I'm just cracking on with what I'm doing, and if people want to come on and have a pop, then if it's rude and disrespectful, they're off. But if it's a fair challenge because it's a bad run, or they want to put their own tips on and big up themselves, then that's absolutely fine. They can carry on and do that. So that is that. Anything else I was going to say? Oh yeah, the other thing I keep forgetting to say. Some of you I know have found it, but I have launched. I have launched. It's gone now. I've got a website that Mrs. FC put together for me. Purely as a to be fair, I just said, oh yeah, it'd be useful to have like a way of contacting me and stuff, and she said, oh, I'll put together a website for you. It's not like massively clever, but I was like, that's way jazzier than I'd ever achieve. So that is currently live, and there is an email address on there. flatcapcallum.com. It's very complicated, so I've had a few correspondence through that already. Flatcapcallum.com is live, it's full of no Patreon services. It's just there is a mechanism that I can attach an email address and it links to YouTube and stuff, so it exists. Who knows? I might leave it running for a year and then switch it off. I don't know. It depends. If I can get to Hugh Taylor status, I mean, then I'll keep having my website and stuff. But that's me. All right, I think that's it. I will be back. When am I back? Tuesday night. And then, next week. So just give you a heads up next week. So I'm expecting to be doing vids Tuesday, Wednesday night. And then it will be Friday morning. So Friday's Good Friday. So I'm going to do a Friday morning video and Saturday morning video. So Tuesday, Wednesday night, Friday, Saturday morning. And then I'm not planning to do a video Sunday, not because of the racing. Got a family thing Saturday night, and I might be thinking that I might not be the best person to be giving you horse selections for Sunday's races. So Tuesday, Wednesday night, Friday, Saturday morning. Expecting to be no video on Sunday. I might put something in the comments if there's an odd thing or two, and then Bank Holiday Monday, so Easter Monday. in the week after, I'm going to expecting to do a video then when I wouldn't normally, because it looks like a reasonable day as bank holiday Mondays are, and it's when the Irish Grand National is. So so four videos next week: Tuesday, Wednesday night, Friday, Saturday morning, and then expecting to do a bonus one the following week, Monday morning, for Irish National Day. All right, I think that's everything. I will see you on the other side. Thank you very much. Bye bye.